Alright, and we are back. This is the Hearthstone.fi Monday night community tournament number 27. My name is Markus, Olodyn, Koskivirta, and we are going to the semifinal number 2 with freddykuhl from Germany versus checkplease from Lithuania. I'll tell the players to start playing. And as you saw, they have both given me their class lists. Freddy running Hunter, Druid, Rogue, and checkplease running Hunter, Druid, and Warlock. So the difference here being as one player probably plays Zoo and the other player plays Oil Rogue. We'll join Freddy's side of the board. And by the egg sounds, I am guessing the match is already going. And it is. We will see indeed. We will see the Zoolock play against the Oil Rogue. And this is, interestingly enough, the only classes that they do have separated classes in. So the winner of this match will be quite far ahead when it comes to meta knowledge. Now this Void Tutor more than likely going to be put down onto the Nerubian egg because the Abusive Sergeant doesn't have any targets to activate the egg on. You could go for the Hunt Creeper Void Walker play as well, but that's vulnerable to oils. And the Void Tutor will be a nice 3-5 and the 4-4 will be on board as well, out of Deadly Poison range. Of course I'm in Deadly Poison and not oils, as you can all see. The Assassin's Blade is an interesting decision to add into these decks. We saw it being played in the ESL Legendary Series, and I believe it was also in DreamHack Bucharest in some of the decks. And if the game is long enough, if it takes a long enough time, then the Assassin's Blade can be great value, but it's a difficult deck or a difficult card to add into the Rogue arsenal currently because it's just so slow. It takes so much time to make good use of, and it can even be Harrisoned and stuff like that, so let's see if that ends up mattering. You could in theory have a huge Edwin Van Cleef this turn. Going double backstab into Prep Sap into Van Cleef. What would you want to coin out? Oh, Prep Sap onto the Nerubian, makes sense. Then just pop the Edwin without the coin or the second backstab. It's still a big enough 6-6. Oh, sorry, 8-8 Edwin, so. With the prep it's 8-8, of course. So it is a threat to be reckoned with. Is there enough attack value from checkplease's hand to kill off the 8-8? I don't think so. 5 from Abusive, 6 from Defender, you don't have the mana for that either. Knife Juggler randomized, not enough. Just the Void Walker down to try and slow down the attack from the Edwin. In this matchup especially, the 8-8 creature so early on is really crucial for you to be winning it. You're forcing the Warlock to handle your big minion while you put on the pressure and start building the board. You could go for the Violet Teacher, a backstab into Void Walker removal with the Wicked Knife, use the 8-8 to just go for face damage. There's no reason for you to start clearing those minions except for the fact that you might want to protect your Violet Teacher. But that's pretty much the only case scenario in which I see the 8-8 going to the 4-4. I think the much better call here is to go for face damage and try and run the Zoolock down. Yeah, okay, so he values his Violet Teacher highly. Well, the Abusive Sergeant will probably be used on the Void Tutor to clear out the Van Cleef. It's not as big of the Violet Teacher is not as big of a threat as the Edwin is. You don't actually even have to use the Abusive Sergeant right now. You can just run the 3-3 into Edwin by itself and that'll be it. Or ignore the Edwin and go for the Violet Teacher. Going for the Violet Teacher. Oh, that's Yeah, you have the 3-2 ready when waiting. Assassin's Blade can be used to take out the Knife Juggler, while the Apprentice goes to the Abusing Sergeant, and then the 8-3 is once again free to roam and cause havoc. Doomguard, well, it's not good. You'll have to discard 2 high-value minions. Tapping. Implosion, and it's 66% chance to get a good value. Implosion, now you have to sacrifice your Honored Creeper as well. Not quite what you wanted to see. Azure Drake, Coin Eviscerate would otherwise be an okay play, but against a lot of 1-1s, it's not gonna do a whole lot. Would you want to hold on to the coin for a combo activator at a later stage of the game? It's still 5 damage to the face, and you could just push with the dagger for more. Yeah, that makes sense. There's no rush for you to push out the Eviscerate. It can be used to value remove something like a Doomguard, a bigger minion. The 2-2s used effectively to clear out the Drake before it becomes a bigger problem, or before it can trade up into the Imp Gang boss. 5 to the Assassin's Blade, or just the Sprint. I think the 5 is essential because you want to get rid of the gang boss by itself. You could also argue to go for the face damage because of the burst potential this deck has. Yep, and going for the face damage with it means you only need to get 7 damage out from your hand, and that's very easy. Thalnos, Eviscerate, SI7 Agent. Bam, that's the game right there. With the Voidwalker you need 15 damage. Is that enough? 5 from hand. 5 from Eviscerate, 15. 12. Oh, well, Blade Flurry does 5 to everything. It's of course better than just the Eviscerates. 6 to everything. And Eviscerate plus hero power attack, that's enough, it is lethal. Like I said, sometimes the aggressor's role just has to be on you. You have to force the zoo to handle your minions and not the other way around. So it is now 1-0 in favor of our German player, Freddy. With their old rogue, actually with their modified old rogue, with those valid teachers. Good call against the zoo, definitely. When you consider your options, the druid can get a win out of pretty much anything. If he continues playing the zoo warlock, then the hunter, depending on if it's mid-range or face, might be the call to go for. If it's face hunter, then you should definitely go for it. Be the aggressor once again. Try and force the opposing player into a situation where you just need the 3rd match and that'll be it. The druid will be able to wrestle the 1 in 3 chance, definitely. There we go, is it face or mid-range? That's the key question here. Could be either, could still be either. And it could still be either. One of those 3 mana cards in the explosive trap will more than likely be mulliganed away. Oh, Zoolot getting the boom in his starting hand. Not good for him. Turns 1 and 2 look good, but the 3rd turn, not so great. Lots of love from the chat. Love you back. Heart. It's a difficult call. Do you hold on to the companion or the bow? You've got the juggler. So, if you're gonna throw away the trap anyway, you want to throw away the bow. I would say so. Try and get the 1-drop. If this is a face hunter, you definitely want to get the 1-drop. Going for the maximum of time. I hope he's not disconnected. Just holding on to everything. The Zulak going first. Second Knife Juggler. You could play really, really extra super greedy if you wanted to. Nope, he's not disconnected. He's just making plays. At 2 mana, if you go for the trap, then you're just gonna trade the trap for 1 minion. I think that's interesting, given that you're playing against the zoo. You know the zoo will be wanting to flood its board. You're using one of your better AoEs against it just to clear a single Flame Imp. I can't agree with that play. I just can't. It makes very little sense. Okay, Leper Gnome, this would talk for a Face Hunter. Trading the Juggler with a Juggler, that's okay. He's definitely playing the second Juggler down. There's no way he's not playing, because if he just taps, then he's giving away the board presence. If there's 2 Jugglers on the board, then the Hunter will actually have to deal with them because of the fact that he's got so many 1 attack or 1 hit point minions. The trade is there. Well, you could have played down the Knife Juggler number 2 before attacking, because with luck it could have gone to the face. The Juggler could have done 1 damage to the face extra, so you sort of missed 1 damage. Turn 4, yeah, definitely Void Caller. And from now on, I think that Freddy will want to go into the aggressor's role. He'll want to turn the tide of battle, go with the Animal Companion Leper Gnome, try and go for the maximum amount of face damage from here on end. For Misha. Very, very nice. Downside here being that the Void Caller will be activated, and if... Okay, so he can choose which demon he wants to put out. If he plays the second Void Caller out, he can get the Void Tether without the Battle Cry. On the other hand, if you want to go for the Loatheb, then there's a 50% chance it will go for the Void Caller or the Void Tether. You actually might want to get the Void Caller instead of the Tether, because the Tether's Battle Cry is there to activate things. Yep, opting to not go for the attack because it would do absolutely nothing. Can respect that. The Owl into Arcane Golem. You're gonna give the Warlock more mana. That's not a good position to be in. Hero power. Is there a chance that the Arcane Golem might survive? That's the key question here. If the Arcane Golem might survive, then you're gonna play it onto the board. And he does. It also enables you to cycle the Quick Shot faster. With that attack from the bear, the 5/5 by itself will not be able to go past to attack into the 4/2. So that's the reason why you went for the trade into the 3/4. So this Arcane Golem is safe on the board and guaranteed to get 8 damage to the face. Unleash will get humongous value. Unleash Worgen is 4 mana and Quickshot can be cycled to go for face. 4, 8, 10, 12, 15, 18, 1 off lethal. Isn't it? 4, 6, 8, 12, 15, 18, yes, 1 off lethal. Do you cycle the quick shot here or do you go for the hero power value? Yep, you go for the cycle. Forcing the opposing warlock to be at a state where he cannot life tap. That is... Oh, and 1 mana off Mal'Ganis. Yep, that's it. 2-0 for Freddy. Quick matches. I was happy that I was correct with the analysis. The Face Hunter should be played at this stage of the game, and it was successfully as well, I might add. So Freddy only has got the Druid in front of him. Can he take it? A clear 3-0 series against checkplease. Oh, and against the Hunter, the Druid is actually fairly good against the Hunter. But it's looking like some sort of hybrid. Quick shots with Web Spinner. Some Face Hunters have tried Web Spinner. It can work, but usually Web Spinner is the prevalent domain of mid-range hunters. Double Keeper of the Grove. Very nice. For you to handle those 2 hit point or less minions that are coming out. The Wrath also, if something that threatens your existence pops out early. Nah, just hero power up this web spinner. There's no reason to cycle the Wrath yet. And what do you get from the web spinner? King Crush, maybe? Called it. No, Malorn, almost. Legendary Beast, still. Haunted Creeper, Okay, so this turn 3 is a bit clunky. You don't really want to go for just hero power, but Wrath for a Haunted Creeper? Definitely not. So, I think we're gonna see just a shapeshift to the face, because let's face it, playing the Wrath onto the 1-2, well, only if you cycle it. The only reasonable play is to cycle it. Let's see how it happens. And the cycle is real. You'll see turn 4 Keeper of the Grove into Sludge Belcher, or depending what comes out of this, oh, it's a Huffer. Yep, definitely Keeper of the Grove to remove the Huffer. And if turn 4 a significant threat presents itself from the Hunter side of the board, you're gonna go with the Sludge Belcher, otherwise just get more cards with the Acid Drake. This is looking very good for the Druid right now. Despite the fact that the Hunter has had a fairly straightforward start with pretty okay minions on the board and not too many wasted mana. Alright, on this turn 4 he did waste 1. Instead of using coin for the Haunted Creeper drop, which he, in my opinion, probably should have done. The Belcher would contest these 1/1s, but the Hunter's Mark is of course a perfect answer for it. The Druid of the Claw faces the same problem. Of course, the Druid of the Claw is more vulnerable to the Hunter's Mark. This Sludge Belcher by itself still summons that Death Rattle 1/2 slime. So I think that the stickiness of the Belcher is the reason why you want to go for it over the Druid of the Claw. And the Acid Drake by itself is the greedier option, because it would get removed with just the bow and the 1/1 in all cases, despite any cards. So after analyzing the situation, I would call it for Sludge Belcher, having seen all the cards in the hand. Turn 5 for the Hunter. What can he draw into? If he draws into... oh, well, Druid of the Claw means that this Hunter's Mark will get amazing value. 5 hit point removal, just like that. And Shredder. Does he use the coin for the Creeper? No, he does not. I guess he wants to use the coin for Malorn on turn 6. That's the only reason I would see why he's holding on to it. Well, now the Belcher does its thing. This possibility of a second Hunter's Mark is very small. Hunter's Marks are cards that you usually only ever run one off. So, BGH pretty much would be dead in this matchup if it weren't for the Malorn from the Web Spinner. Of course, they're not going to attack with the Belcher. The Belcher's whole role here is to just hold on to the fort. Great, hero power takes out the Spectral Spider if you don't draw into anything useful. Yep, hero power at the 1/1. Let the turn flow. On 8, you have the option of playing Ragnaros or Boom or whatever. If we see the Malorn go down, oh, Wild Growth. I guess he really wants to play Cenarius on the next turn. Or Boom Hero Power. More options though with that Wild Growth. Kind of understand it. You would have gotten one more armor out of this shapeshift and removed one of these minions, so if it goes up to just 1 hit point, if it's really up to 1 hit point in this matchup, we know where it was thrown out in that Wild Growth play. No more. 2 spawns from the Knife Juggler. Means that the Pilot Shredder will be able to attack into the Belcher. Clear it out. No. He doesn't want to sacrifice the Shredder, I guess. Opts to go for the Face Tank it. Quick Shot was also an option. When you face tank it, you can use the quick shot to remove this. Break completely. Druids really don't have a lot of menacing AoE. They have the swipe, but if he had it, he probably would have used it earlier on already. So this kind of overextension onto the board by checkplease is not that bad. He's also got the sticky shredder on there, so. Druid of Flame is an interesting card to see. Most players have agreed that in this current meta, it is not quite there yet. When you want to play it, you want to play it as a 5-2 minion, so it threatens up as a trade or threatens as face damage. And usually you're forced to play it as a 2-5. So, in that state, it doesn't really do much. For this board, the Cenarius with the 2-2 taunts would actually be pretty significant. It would contest the Shredder, it would contest the Juggler, and it would provide the 5-8 body of Cenarius by himself. The Keeper, yeah, the Keeper makes a lot of sense as well. Druid of the Flame gonna come down as a 2-5, just like I said previously. It's usually forced to be played as this sort of defensive passive version. And it doesn't really do much. Might trade 1 for 2, but that's not... It doesn't validate its existence right now.
I have returned.
Yes, you have returned, Mr. Malorn. You will get Big Game Hunted. Back to the deck you go. And this Druid of the Flame will be bounced back into the hand from the Freezing Trap. Of course, he will try and test it.
I've got the
PGH. Well, let's see if he will return during this match. And if he will proc the trap with the Druid. Oh, he's not proccing it. I guess he wants to proc it with the boom bots then. I don't think it would have been that bad to put the Druid of the Flame back into his hand, though. It's better to get it onto a boom bot, don't get me wrong. That's true, but... If you play the Explosive Trap, it means that this Mad Scientist will fizzle unless you have a Snake Trap in here hidden.
I wonder.
He will... checkplease is in an odd situation where he wants to use all his minions to clear out the Druid's threats from the board. And when you're a hunter and you're fighting for board presence against the Druid, it's already looking really bleak. Just 1 damage to the Mad Scientist, that's got to hurt. It's pretty much the worst possible option to get out of all these minions that have 1 hit point. Even the face would have probably been better than just 1 damage to the Scientist. And this is second Explosive Trap. A swipe would be nice to the face right now. If you go Druid of the Claw, charge, 4-4, proc the Freezing Trap. You can just play it again later. But I think that Druid of the Flame into the Frostwolf Grunt attack is definitely what you want to be using right now. The 4-2 will trade into one of these 2-1s as well because it will die to the Explosive Trap. And this Dr. Boom will probably go for face as well. I would actually trade the 4-2 into the Mad Scientist. Or even proc the Big Game Hunter back into your hand. Yeah, proccing the Big Game Hunter makes more sense because this 2-5 Druid Flame will be left alive on the board even after he clears out these taunts. Let's use the hero power to clear out one of these. And the 2-5 to clear the second one. Proc the Dr. Boom into the Explosive Trap. It still means that this Druid of the Flame will survive as a 2-1. There we go. Of course, in an optimal world, you would have wanted to have killed off this Mad Scientist with the hero power before you go for the attack into the trap, because if you go into the attack for the trap right now, then the Mad Scientist will actually get value from his Death Rattle. Okay, double taunts from the Trents. Guess these 2-1s will be able to trade up into them. But checkplease sees it. There's no way for him to come out. The Druid takes the win, which means that we will get German versus German in the final. Freddykuhl versus Random. I will talk to the players shortly. I suggest you guys go grab yourself something to drink, like water, or maybe even a bite to eat. Don't go anywhere though. we'll be right back with the finals of the Hearthstone.fi Monday Night Community Tournament number 27.